one, and joins two related ideas or actions. Synonym, also. Example, the paper defines key terms, and it outlines the methodology clearly. 2. Also, adds another point of equal importance. Synonym, additionally. Example, the author critiques the theory. Also, she suggests an alternative approach. 3. Additionally, adds extra information or emphasis in formal settings. Synonym, furthermore. Example, the study confirms the hypothesis. Additionally, it offers a new framework for analysis. 4. As well as, adds a related item, often within lists. Synonym, in addition to. Example, the curriculum includes literature as well as composition. 5. Furthermore, introduces a stronger or more significant point. Synonym, moreover. Example, the results support the initial claim. Furthermore, they challenge the standard interpretation. 6. In addition, adds supplementary information to a statement. Synonym, besides. Example, in addition to primary sources, the paper uses interviews with experts. 7. Moreover, emphasizes an additional, often more significant, point. Synonym, furthermore. Example, the theory is well supported. Moreover, it aligns with recent empirical data. 8. Not only, but also, emphasizes two related or surprising points. Synonym, and. Example, the experiment not only confirmed previous results, but also revealed new insights. 9. Plus, adds a casual or conversational point in informal contexts. Synonym, also. Example, the article is well researched. Plus, it's easy to read. 10. Such as, introduces specific examples to clarify a point. Synonym, for instance. Example, many poets, such as Keats and Shelley, explored themes of nature and mortality. 11. What's more, emphasizes an additional and often compelling point. Synonym, moreover. Example, the sample was diverse. What's more, it reflected national averages. 12. Albeit, concedes a minor point while emphasizing the main idea. Synonym, although. Example, the results were valid, albeit not statistically significant. 13. Although, introduces a concession or contrast. Synonym, though. Example, although the sample was limited, the findings were consistent. 14. At the same time, highlights two simultaneous but contrasting considerations. Synonym, however. Example, the theory gained popularity. At the same time, criticism increased. 15. But, contrasts two ideas directly in a sentence. Synonym, yet. Example, the method is effective, but it's time-consuming. 16. Even so, concedes a point but maintains the main idea. Synonym, nevertheless. Example, the model is incomplete. Even so, it provides useful insight. 17. Even though, introduces a strong concession or unexpected contrast. Synonym, although. Example, even though the experiment was repeated, the results differed. 18. However, introduces a contrast or exception, usually after a full stop. Synonym, nonetheless. Example, the hypothesis was well structured. However, the evidence was lacking. 19. In spite of, shows contrast despite a condition or obstacle. Synonym, despite. Example, in spite of the complexity, the algorithm performed well. 20. Nevertheless, concedes a point while maintaining the main idea. Synonym, however. Example, the data was incomplete. Nevertheless, the conclusion was valid. 21. Nonetheless, concedes a point but emphasizes the main idea. Synonym, nevertheless. Example, the theory is controversial. Nonetheless, it continues to influence policy. 22. On the other hand, introduces a contrasting point or alternative perspective. Synonym, in contrast. Example, previous studies focused on urban areas. On the other hand, rural communities remain under-researched. 23. Regardless, indicates something happens despite the circumstances. Synonym, anyway. Example, the paper was overdue. Regardless, it was accepted for review. 24. Still, contrasts with previous information, often unexpectedly. Synonym, Even so. Example, the study is small. Still, the conclusions are valuable. 25. Though introduces a concession, often at the end of a sentence. Synonym, although. Example, the results were inconclusive, though they raised important questions. 27. Yet, contrasts, often with an unexpected result. Synonym, but. Example, the method was precise, yet the outcomes varied widely. 28. As, shows cause or a relationship in time. Synonym, since. Example, as the experiment progressed, the variables became more difficult to control. 29. As a result, shows the consequence of a previous situation. Synonym, consequently. Example, several sources were excluded. As a result, the literature review lacked depth. 30. Based on, indicates reasoning or evidence for a decision. Synonym, according to. Example, based on the survey data, the hypothesis was adjusted. 31. Consequently, shows a direct result or effect. Synonym, therefore. Example, the participants misunderstood the task. Consequently, the data were inconsistent. 32. Due to, shows cause or reason, moving from neutral to formal. Synonym, because of. Example, due to sample contamination, the test was repeated. 33. For, explains a reason in formal or literary contexts. Synonym, because. Example, the theory was flawed, for it ignored several key variables. 34. In case, prepares for a possible situation or problem. Synonym, if. Example, in case of contamination, all samples were stored separately. 35. In the event that, introduces a possible future condition. Synonym, if. Example, in the event that the hypothesis fails, alternative models will be explored. 36. Owing to, shows cause or reason formally. Synonym, due to. Example, owing to high variability, the results are considered inconclusive. 36. Owing to, shows cause or reason formally. Synonym, due to. Example, owing to high variability, the results are considered inconclusive. 37. Provided that, sets a condition for something to happen. Synonym, as long as. Example, providing the sample remains stable, measurements will continue. 38. Since, gives a reason or cause for a situation. Synonym, because. Example, since participants varied in age, results were adjusted accordingly. 39. So, shows a result or consequence of an action. Synonym, thus. Example, the experiment produced irregular readings, so the trial was repeated. 40. Therefore, shows a logical result or conclusion. Synonym, consequently. Example, the data did not support the hypothesis. Therefore, it was rejected. 41. Thus, shows a logical conclusion or result. Synonym, hence. Example, the method was too narrow. Thus, further research is required. 42. Unless, sets a negative condition for an event. Synonym, except if. Example, unless otherwise noted, all figures are estimates. 43. As long as, sets a positive condition. Synonym, provided that. Example, as long as the temperature is controlled, the reaction will proceed normally. 44. Either, or, presents two alternatives. Synonym, or. Example, either the participants misunderstood the task, or the instructions were unclear. 45. Neither, nor, negates two alternatives. Synonym, not one or the other. Example, neither the control group nor the experimental group showed significant change. 46. Only if, sets a strict condition for something to happen. Synonym, provided that. Example, the extension is granted only if the student maintains a 3.0 GPA. 48. Otherwise, shows the consequence of not following a previous action. Synonym, or else. Example, the draft must be submitted by Friday. Otherwise, it will not be reviewed. 49. By, sets a specific deadline. Synonym, until. Example, all assignments must be uploaded by midnight. 50. During, indicates a specific period of time. Synonym, while. Example, Attendance dropped during the final exam period.